for new customers, ask internally to your current customers, what are some of their pain points, what are some of their stripes that they have, and if you happen to have a solution for it, well, then that's great. It could go from just, doing a couple brokered loads here and there to maybe a dedicated contract, or if you set them up on this type of private fleet situation, or even, if you do a lot of their transportation for them, will suddenly just kind of develop into a managed transportation services. And it could just be something as simple as, redoing their routing guides or taking more people out to bid and getting more freight that way. I think it's really just kind of whatever you make of it and how to get people to, give you a little extra money. Because the shippers want to ultimately pay less in cost, and if they can outsource more and not have to hire more people to do it, and they can just pay their 3PL or their freight broker to do it, that's a win for everybody.
Yeah, it's time for the scrappy broker, that's for sure. There's those hiring, make sure that you are getting scrappy guys and gals. If they're hesitant at all at the phone, maybe not the best hire right now. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll dive a little bit more into, I'd say my beat, but let's be honest, we all get to touch on this in the work that we do too, and that's good old freight technology. Who's won so far? Who's lost? Who could be acquired? Who could just fall off this map into the rest of the year? We'll let you guys, of course, hear our opinions here. Stick with us right after the break.
Consider that CPAPs were invented in 1980. Do you even remember 1980? Everyone's house had one telephone. There were like 4 TV channels. Now for people who struggle with CPAP, there's Inspire. Inspire treats sleep apnea inside your body at the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
The McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu got me thinking, you always ask me for a fry, and when I give you a fry, you always ask for another.
Just one, I promise.
And another, and another.
Thank you.
Right. So, I better get extra fries. Get all your favorite items like a small fries, McDouble, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, and McChicken for just a few bucks, only on the McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any offer or combo meal.
I'll find a new...
Unfortunately, inventory doesn't manage itself, but the next best thing is Fastenal. They specialize in stopping stockouts before they happen, using technology to eliminate the dark corners of your supply chain. And they even have experts who can tailor programs to your work. Like if your team loses time waiting for supplies, Fastenal has a cure for that. Fastenal, where industry meets innovation. Learn more at fastenal.com/SiriusXM. That's FASTENAL.com/SiriusXM.
Vinegar is the ultimate multi-purpose cleaner, and Harris 30% vinegar is 6 times stronger than regular vinegar. It contains no dyes or other harsh chemicals and leaves your floors, bathroom, and kitchen sparkling. Use Harris 30% vinegar outdoors to clean sidewalks, driveways, decks, and patio furniture. Harris even has a vinegar formula to kill weeds. Find Harris 30% vinegar at the Home Depot and most hardware stores.
Hello, drivers. This is Nick Hobbs, JB Hunt's Chief Operating Officer. I want to say thank you to all drivers as we celebrate Truck Driver Appreciation Week. And at JB Hunt, it's our tradition to celebrate all month long. Just by climbing into your cab and committing to make your delivery safely, you make a big impact on every single person across the country. We cannot thank you enough. If you're looking for a company who will show you their appreciation, join the JB Hunt team. Visit drivejbhunt.com today. That's drivejbhunt.com.
I'm meteorologist Ken Boone here at the Weather Channel with an interstate weather update as we take a look at your east-west routes here heading through this overnight Monday night. Right. Let's start down in the south on I-10. Chance for a few storms anywhere from South Mississippi across Louisiana into southeast Texas. And any storm that we do see would have the potential for strong winds and heavy downpours. Chance for storms on 20 across Mississippi, but more shower and storm activity on 20 as you travel across Louisiana into northeast Texas. 40 showers and storms across Arkansas, some with heavy downpours and gusty winds. As we look towards the north, some spotty showers and storms on 90 and 94 as you travel from Wisconsin across Minnesota. More showers and storms 90 and 94, some strong to severe across the Dakotas and Montana. Interstate 80 showers and storms, some strong to severe from the Panhandle in Nebraska through Wyoming and into northern parts of Utah. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone with custom weather for drivers twice an hour on the road dog, Sirius XM 146, and now on the SXM app.
Join the conversation now on FreightWaves Radio with Grace Sharkey. FreightWaves Drive Time continues right now with Grace Sharkey.
Well, welcome back, Freight friends, to FreightWaves Drive Time. Happy Labor Day. We're all here with my good friends Thomas Watson and Mary O'Connell as we bring you some fun content here for this holiday. For all of you out there working, appreciate the work that you do. The supply chain would not be the same without you. Now, let's dive into, I think, speaking of this section, Friday's been wild with it, but freight technology providers. It's been a wild year when it comes to seeing really who's making actual technology that's bringing some value to this industry. We saw a couple of years in the past of just huge investments in order to de-risk our supply chains, in order to bring some optimization, and honestly, I'd say push our supply chain providers or LSPs, logistics providers as well, into the 21st century. Much needed. I think we all agree in this industry that there's a lot of tech advancements that we could do, and that Excel is not a technological advancement. And so we got a lot of Silicon Valley tech bros, we'll say, and gals that have come into this industry with ideas on how to fix it. Some great, some not so great, some exposed, some not exposed yet. And recently, I'd say the biggest one that's been under fire is right, Convoy. We had the news Friday that they're having payment issues with one of the largest factoring providers in the industry, and that sounds like it got resolved, but still like surprised by the amount of credit even exposed to the company in general. Let's start with you, Thomas. What were your thoughts so far on the technology providers today, and even something like Convoy has gone through a number of interesting headlines over the past couple of weeks?
Well, being a digital freight broker is great if the market is good, because the digital and technology part is expensive. You need developers. You need tons of more overhead costs. It's not like, we forget that, like, when it gets in a lean market, brokerages resemble a prison yard. And the hungriest ones and the leanest ones are typically make it through, while the more bloated ones will probably have trouble. I'm thinking, Convoy and Uber Freight and some of these digital type brokerages that really ballooned in size, they've been buying market share, but they're just burning money for market share. And so, we're going to see more cuts. I wouldn't be shocked if we see an acquisition or a bankruptcy, just because the model itself is really sensitive to a bad market. And that's just where it is, because it's not fueled by the tears of new college graduates who are promised, the Wolf of Wall Street video, they're going to get six figures, they're going to make all those calls. The technology's not that hungry, so it can't compete against a college bro. And when you have the gong and you blare the music and, you give them tons of the Zen, I think is the dip, you give them tons of dip as well, they'll work wonders. And that's what we see, is those are the brokerages that'll be okay in a down market, because you're just going to bring in fresh bodies. If you're a tech one, you can't really just, your developers are a lot different than your salespeople. So I think that's going to be the big one. It's just my Convoy thoughts. I'm like, that's probably not good. They probably got cash flow problems. They're investors, they're funding. There's a lot of stuff coming due when you're valued, like your valuation's that high. There's just a lot behind the scenes that's going to be headwinds.
Mary, anything you want to add to that too?
slightly different take on it. I can't say that I'm overly surprised because, you know, in a down market, everyone does avoid paying their bills as long as possible. So, you know, it happens. But it also makes me wonder because, you know, Convoy is first and foremost a digital freight brokerage. And I have worked at brokerages where I've had customers, not shippers, I've had them treat our brokerage like their own personal bank, where they have had approximately like $1 million to $2 million outstanding invoices not paid just because, you know, they would take 6 months to pay invoices. So I think that, you know, keeping that in mind where, you know, if you are a brokerage that does have some cash flow issues and some shippers might have a $600 to $1 million outstanding with you, you know, it's going to be harder for you to pay your bills if you're not getting your bills paid from shippers. And I think as we head, you know, we're already pretty far into this tight market when there hasn't really been a lot of turnaround yet. But I think as we kind of slowly get to the point where we do turn around, I think we'll see more and more of this. You know, there are payment terms for most invoices, especially for like vendors and goods. But obviously there's not a discount on your freight. But I think we're going to see more and more of this happening. And as, you know, freight factoring companies, I don't blame them at all for wanting to mitigate their exposure because I would be doing the exact same thing as if I were them. Because honestly, if you find yourself in a situation where, I know they're just restructuring, but if you find yourself in a situation as you're someone that's owed money in bankruptcy, you know, there's no guarantee you're going to get it. It's truly at the discretion of the bankruptcy courts to decide who gets paid at what rate. And usually once you're outside of those first 30 to 50 vendors, the chances of you getting made whole by your money is pretty slim. So obviously the factoring payments are pretty high up on that priority list, but there's no telling when they'll get their payments, especially through bankruptcy court. So I think it's something that we're going to see a little bit more of, and we're going to see factoring companies really, you know, tighten that belt and not let people carry such high outstanding balances. But also for shippers out there, pay your bill. Everybody just pay your bill. Pay your bill. Yeah. And then nobody's going to be talking about you.
You know, it's also interesting because I'm thinking about back in the brokerage days, like when the market would get to, put yourself into January and the worst month out of the whole month, right? And what's the action that you take? You get on the phone, you get scrappy, you really rely on those relationships. You ask about how the holiday was, and if their kid liked that gift that they got them, or you know, you really lean on those relationships to get the freight that you need. And when you consider like a more technological approach, you can't do that with a tech-focused business, right? You can't call the customers and say, how is your family doing? How are you being serviced, even on a level of just like a trustworthy relationship? It's hard to build trust with a robot. And I think that if this market had just stuck for a little bit longer, that a lot of these companies would have been able to fulfill this like gross amount of freight volume that they could have leveraged, and then maybe margin wise made it through a little bit nicer. But now they're at this point where it's like they're dealing with all the broker has to do is someone who's working with Convoy or maybe a digital broker is calling and say like, hey, I thought we had a close relationship, I love servicing your freight, and just like they can just totally lose that business from someone who's like a decent person at the shipping manager at a mom and pop shipping company wants to use instead. There's no way. I mean, the losses that some of these companies are making and what investors want now back, there's no way that they're still dealing with these like margin losses, or we're now seeing that, right, with someone like Convoy looking for more financial support and or a way out. So it's very interesting, and appreciate all of your guys' comments. And let's keep the hot takes here for a second, because we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go to the roots of FreightWaves and why we all love our job. And that's because we have a platform where we get to say our hot freight opinions, and of course give the data and reasoning for it, and that's what's going to happen here right after this break. Stick with us, and we got some hot freight opinions for you coming up.
Keep right.
The NFL is on Sirius XM. Hear every game on your radio. And with your hometown announcers and local pre- and post-game shows, it's always a home game on the Sirius XM app. Touchdown, Kansas City! Get ready for game day with weekly shows from NFL greats Phil Simms, Larry Fitzgerald, and Tom Brady. And join the daily conversation on NFL Radio Channel 88. Your home for the NFL is Sirius XM.
If you drive a big rig, you know that if your wheels keep turning, you keep earning. That's why Shell Rotella with advanced synthetic technology is designed to help keep your rig running and save you money in the long run. That means less time in the shop and more time on the road. It also means you'll get more chances to see North America's finest roadside attractions. Cows, cornfields, cows in cornfields. It's lovely this time of year. Superior engine protection for longer engine life. Shell Rotella for the long haul.
If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, consider that CPAPs were invented in 1980. Do you even remember 1980? Everyone's house had one telephone. There were like 4 TV channels. Now for people who struggle with CPAP, there's Inspire. Inspire treats sleep apnea inside your body at the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
And then turn left.
So much talk about home remodeling. But hear this. The Good Housekeeping Institute awarded its seal to Window World for their high-quality windows, siding, and entry doors. That's a win. And Window World has received tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. Like Amy and Todd from Ohio.
Our new windows are amazing.
And we loved the price.
That's a win-win. That's Window World. Go to windowworld.com for your free quote today.
Meet the reimagined Curl Secret by Conair. At the simple push of a button, experience flawless and effortless curls. From elegant waves to bouncy spirals. Choose from 3 preset curl types and directions to achieve your desired look. With 5 temperature options tailored for all hair types and our exclusive anti-tangle tech, the ceramic barrel ensures your hair remains smooth, frizz-free, and beautifully protected. Hair goes in, curl comes out, just like magic. Get your hands on the must-have Curl Secret by Conair. Available exclusively in-store or online at Ulta this August and September.
If your stunning home has gone a little stale, it might be time to contact your local CertaPro painters. We bring the power of pro to every job. That's CertaPro's power to do the job right, the first time, every time, and the power to renovate your home without breaking down walls. Take your home from blah to booyah. Get on CertaPro's schedule today at CertaPro.com. The power.
Get ready
pro.
To turn
we
left.
proudly use Sherwin-Williams paint.
Dirty patio? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on your patio or deck with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including driveways, siding, roofs, and fencing. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, or Ace.
Turn left.
This is SiriusXM's Road Dog Trucking Radio. From regulations to retirement. Helping you navigate it all.
Welcome back to FreightWaves Radio with Grace Sharkey.
Oh, welcome back, Freight Friends, to FreightWaves Drive Time. I'm Grace Sharkey. I'm here with my friends Thomas Watson and Mary O'Connell as we bring you this wonderful Labor Day episode. And we haven't done this in a while as a group or even with guests, to be honest with you. So why not have some fun on this Labor Day? And let's talk hot freight opinions. Now, you know what, Thomas, we'll start with you. This can be an opinion that you have for the rest of the year. This can be an opinion you had on the past or just something that sparked in your brain just 2 seconds ago. What's your hot freight opinion you want to share with the audience today?
The first thing that pops into my head that'd be especially spicy is there's no such thing as a digital freight brokerage because you're just a freight brokerage. And if you happen to use digital tools, you're still a freight brokerage. So don't pretend like that makes you special because you have API connections. Well, congratulations. API connections are everywhere and they're universal and you just happen to do it. Similar to the platforms with load board, like digital load board platforms that aggregate everything. Like, you're basically just a third party of a third party, and it's weird, and I don't understand why. But, I mean, why am I going to go onto your platform to see something from other load platforms that's been aggregated from another platform? That just feels like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, it's like, first off, congratulations. You learned how to data scrape a website. Wow, congrats. A round of applause. No one's ever seen that before. And then on the digital brokerage side,